you can see in someone so lean, to have this much tissue is a lot. It kind of makes sense why his pinch test was so thick.
A couple of things I want to point out about his chest. Number one, he's got grade 2 gynecomastia. He developed it during puberty, which is, as I always say, a really common time to get it. What that means is he's got too much breast tissue. It goes past the areola borders, but his skin tone is great. His nipples are in the right position. He's got an asymmetry. His right side is bigger than his left side. And I see asymmetries all the time, either in the amount of tissue that they have or the amount of fat, or even in nipple heights. But his main thing is that he's got fuller tissue on the right compared to the left. If you're just casually looking at him, you say, oh, this guy just has a normal chest. But I want to show you my pinch test and why he's got this issue. If I pinch somewhere right here where I know he doesn't have gyno, you can see his pinch test is actually quite thin, right? And why wouldn't it be? He's lean overall. When I go here, you can see how much thicker that is. And this is on the smaller side. And if you look on the bigger side, it's even more compared to this. And so people that say, oh, you just need to diet and exercise, this is not a fatty problem, obviously. Look how lean this guy is. This fullness is not because he's got a chunk of fat here, because that also doesn't make sense, right? Why would you have a chunk of fat under your nipples but not anywhere else in your body? This is purely a glandular problem, which leads me to my next point, which is why I don't do liposuction in these kinds of cases, because lean guys, they need their body fat to maintain smoothness to their skin. So I never do liposuction on guys this lean. I go in and I take that gland out, and then I contour the edges to make sure there's nice transitions.
I made the incision here, and I start by lifting the skin and the fat off the breast tissue all the way down to here, and you can see that. And you can see now that that's lifted. This pinch test here is very similar to this, right? And then what I end up doing is once I free that up, I get under the tissue and I lift it up off the pec, which I've done here. And now what I gotta do is come under the nipple and come separate the tissue off the rest of the skin. So it's separated here, now I gotta separate it off of here and take it out. So I freed up the tissue and I'm gonna take it out. You can see I can freely move it around in here. And I'm gonna take it out and prove to you that this is not something you can diet and exercise your way out of. This is all the gland. These little bits here, that's the fat right there. But this huge mass that's really rubbery, this is the breast tissue. Fat does not feel or act like this. And you can see in someone so lean, to have this much tissue is a lot. It kind of makes sense why his pinch test was so thick. Look, when I pinch this, look how thick that is. And if you add that to his normal pinch, it triples it. And you can imagine this being underneath his skin, how much that's gonna push it out and cone it out and over project it. So now I'm gonna sit him up and start contouring around it. So this patient came to me with grade 2 gynecomastia, and he's sitting up about 60 degrees, 70 degrees. You can see there is such an improvement in his contour. Now a lot of people would think like, oh, he didn't even have a problem to begin with, but look at all this gland. This is pure gland. There's a little bit of fat in and around it, but most of this is gland, and even in lean guys, they'll have gland if they've got gynecomastia, and he could not diet and exercise himself out of this tissue. This is the breast tissue. And he also had an asymmetry with the right side being larger than the left pre-op, and it bore out to be true. The right breast tissue was larger, but the left side was still significant. This is the fat that I trimmed out from around it. So for me, it's not worthwhile to do liposuction just to get this out. I'd rather do a very precise dissection, get this gland out precisely, especially on these lean guys, and then take out the fat just where I want to take it out from. And so he's gonna do really well. You can see that coning is better. The pinch test, like I showed before, now you can see that pinch is equivalent to everywhere around it. You can see this here. And that's the thing, gynecomastia is one of those things that, like I said, it's too much breast tissue, not too much fat. So I gotta put the dressings on, get him to the recovery room. He's gonna do great. Until next time, guys.